Oh, first of all, then how are you? How are you feeling about the running? Ten games to go. Behind Wrexham now, of course, the one's chasing. But how confident are you of being able to catch them?
Yeah, looking forward to it. It's 10 games that we're looking at that we need to win, and then they need to maybe slip up a couple as well. So it's going to be interesting. But yeah, we're really looking forward to these last 10 games and putting on some good performances.
I suppose the fact that you've still got them to play puts a slightly different slant on it, doesn't it? Because you only need to sort of beat them on one of the results. As long as you beat them, that would be enough. So although it feels like they might be a long way off, it won't take much.
No, we do realise how close it is and how quickly in football things can change. So um, we're still confident in house, and we're hoping we can catch them and get a good result at their place, and then hopefully we're back on top of the pile as soon as possible. Really.
How closely have you been following them? Have you been watching their games? And even after the other game last weekend, their 5:20 kickoff, of course, do you sit watching that one and then again in midweek?
Yeah, of course it's hard not to sort of keep one eye on them and see what they're doing, but the gaffer's always reassuring us to just concentrate on ourselves and make sure we're getting the results that we need on the pitch rather than sort of concentrating on what they're doing. It's still sort of in our hands to a certain degree with us having to play them still. So we need to just focus on ourselves and make sure we keep putting on good performances for 90 minutes and picking up them 3 points.
Because you've been neck and neck on the pitch throughout the course of the entire season, how much does it come down in the final running now to mentality, to that kind of mental approach to games as much as anything?
Yeah, I think it's been an amazing season. Obviously, two teams that know how to win games on maybe different ends of the spectrum and different styles, but I think it keeps our standards high and makes sure we're working hard day in day out and we're not taking our foot off the pedal to try and match each other all the way. So it's been enjoyable. Um, we're now playing catch up. It's something we haven't really done this season yet. We've always been sort of the ones in front. So it'll be interesting to see how they can deal with that pressure and how we can deal with the pressure of trying to catch up.
How does that differ, the pressure of being the ones at the very top to being the ones chasing?
I think this season's completely different to the rest. When you're trying to do that, you in normal seasons you probably know that a team's not going to win every game and you're going to have opportunities to catch them up. Whereas this season you're looking at 10 games and we're probably thinking that we need to win them all to have a good chance of winning the league title, and even then it still might not be enough. So it's been an interesting one and something different where two teams are really battling it out at the top, and the gap between us and third is quite a big gap points wise. So um, we just need to keep going and keep trying to put them good performances on.
Does it come down to nerve at the end, do you think, over the final few weeks? If it's still as tight, it kind of comes down to that mentality, that bit of nerve, does it?
I think so, but I think, like I said, that the mentality and the intensity's been really like that all season, regardless of it coming at the end of the season or not. I think it's been sort of intense and stressful to a certain degree all year round because we know we have to keep winning, otherwise one of us is gonna pull away and create a bit of a gap, which uh, has been amazing that hasn't really happened so far. When you think the runs that both teams have been on, it's incredible. We'd be on a 25 unbeaten run, and I think they're on something 20 odd as well. So it's one of them seasons that's one in a million, and it's just having to keep winning, and just keep your head down and keep grafting.
Well, yeah, the only other time before this one, when you lost this season, of course, was Dorking. And then you went on that incredible run, 7 winners in a row straight after it. That's, I guess, the kind of reaction you need at the moment, isn't it? After failing to get winners in the last couple.
Of course, we never like losing games of football, and luckily this season it's only happened twice, and I think we're a bit of a different breed than what we were at the beginning of the season. We've come on a lot, we've improved a lot, and I think the Dagenhams, if you watch that back, that's just one of them one-off games that sometimes happens in football. You can't control everything, but yeah, we now need to go on a good run again and start picking up 3 points and try and string 4, 5, 6 games and sort of see where that puts us come the Wrexham game.
And just give me an idea how hard it is to kind of keep your nerve in these moments when there is that pressure. And we know it's boiled over a bit in the last couple of games, and refereeing decisions haven't gone against you. We've seen players confronting refs and things like that. How tough is it as a professional when you've put your heart and soul into it and you feel a bit of injustice done to try and hold back even after the final whistle? Because clearly that's something Luke Williams has talked about the last couple of weeks with Aiden and so on, big sent up after the final whistle. It must be tough to be able to do that.
Of course it is. I don't want to go into it too much because otherwise I'll get in trouble, but at times it feels a little bit unfair. We've worked so hard all season, we've put all this preparation and sort of energy into training every single day. It's not just on a Saturday, do you know what I mean? And then sometimes we get let down by things that are out of our control. Regardless of that, we've done enough in the last 2 matches to win these games, and we just haven't been able to get them over the line. Where if you look at maybe the 3 or 4 previous to that where we weren't as good but we managed to get over the line, I think these things swings and roundabouts, and hopefully that's our sort of patch of bad luck out the way with, and we can now kick on at the end of the season and let's see if we can win all 10.
And this weekend, is there something a little personal in wanting to sort of right the wrong of Dorking? You know, having lost them, you haven't lost many this season, let's be honest, but wanting to kind of right that wrong this time and beat them on your own patch.
I wouldn't say it's sort of a revenge kind of thing. It's just for us, it's another game. We prepare for it as we do every other game. We go in there to dominate, to win the game, and to really put our stamp on it. The stuff we work in day out is stuff that you see on the pitch on a Saturday. So regardless of who it is, we put the same intensity, the same effort into it to try and get that 3 points.
Good stuff, Carl. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, Kyle. I'll start with Saturday. So it proved to be a difficult first half. Can you pinpoint what it was? Was it perhaps something to do with the formation change, or did you find that relatively comfortable?
I think it could be the formation. It's always difficult in the opening stages of a game because teams are fresh. They've got a lot more energy than what they did in the second half. You've seen the difference, and within the first kick of the second half they dropped off and just tried to defend the lead, whereas the first half they were full of energy to come out. Of course the back four is maybe something we haven't worked on as much this season as we have in the back three, back five, but we're good enough footballers to work out on the pitch what needs to be done and what we need to be doing, and unfortunately we couldn't do that on Saturday for the first 20-25 minutes. We then moved.
And obviously,
go on.
Carry on.
As I said, then we moved to the back three, and I thought we felt a lot more comfortable and we looked a lot more dominating and like our normal selves. Then we just couldn't, like I say, we couldn't get that next goal to win the game, unfortunately.
And then along with the formation change, there was a change in personnel as well. Obviously, Sam out injured and Tiernan came in, and it was quite the day for him. How well did you think he did personally? Because I thought it was tremendous.
Yeah, brilliant. Like you say, it's never easy making your debut, especially when it's for your sort of home club where you've sort of grown up through the academy. I think that adds another element of nerves to it, but he handled it brilliantly. The big thing for him now is just to keep his head level and knuckling down and keep working hard. He's probably in the best place for that with the gaffer and the coaching staff and all the lads here. I don't think anyone will let him get carried away and too high or too low when he has good games or bad games. But yeah, it was a great start for him. I don't think you could ask for much more than saving a penalty in your debut, and he was unfortunate with the second one. He got a hand to it, and again, the decision that's gone against us, that's how things go, and he was unlucky not to sort of save that one as well. But yeah, great performance from him. Just happy to see him come into the team with so much confidence and belief in himself, and it was good to see that.
And then on Monday it was announced that Macaulay had been called up to the England C squad. How deserving is that of that opportunity?
Yeah, I think the stats speak for themselves, don't they? Macca's obviously scoring goals for fun at the moment, and they've all been open play goals and no sort of penalties or anything like that. So he's done amazingly well. it's not just his goals that he adds to the team, it's his work ethic and he's starting the press from the front, which is a massive help for us at the back. It allows us to do our job a little bit easier. But yeah, thoroughly deserved and glad to see his name get called up for that.
And then just finally from me, you're one of a few players that are out of contract this summer. Has there been any early discussions as of yet of whether you will be extending that deal?
Yeah, things have been discussed, but for me, I've said that I'll leave my agent to deal with that stuff. I'm here to concentrate on the football, and we've got 10 massive games coming up. For me, it's about focusing on that and not messing around with trying to sort out contracts or anything. I think we get promoted in the summer, it'll be a lot easier to sit down and talk about a new contract with the staff here. But for now, I'm leaving that to my agent until the football's done and dusted, and then I can sort of move my attention to that.
Perfect. Cheers, Kyle.
Thank you.
Hi, Kyle. Hope you're well. Just a quick couple of a few follow-ups from me, really. I know, of course, like you say, you're focused on the matters on the pitch at the moment. You're letting your agent deal with the contractual side of things. But if everything was dead simple and cut and dry, would you like to stay at Meadow Lane?
Of course, I've loved it here. These last 2 years have been amazing, and especially with the gaffer coming in this season, I feel like he's improved me a lot. He's probably been the best coach that I've worked with in my career so far, and I think it'll be a tough ask to find someone who's a lot better than him, even higher up in the divisions. So, of course, I'm enjoying my time here. We've got a promotion push going this season, and I'm just hoping we can get that over the line and get the club back where it should be.
For sure, and just on that, you mentioned about Luke Williams being the best coach you've worked under. What is it about him specifically that's drawn more out of your game, and yeah, why is it that you think he's the best?
I think he just makes everything so clear and so black and white of what he wants from each individual player and each individual role. The confidence he gives you as well, always talking to you and giving you that boost. He certainly makes you feel like the best player in the world at times and fills you with that confidence to go and perform on the pitch. So again, the coaching as well is really in depth. Like I say, it's black and white, it's really straightforward. Even though it is in depth, it's very easy to understand, and he makes the complicated things seem so basic and allows you to sort of add that to your game.
Is that how he helps the squad to deal with that intensity of such a close title fight for what's been all throughout the season so far, and what will no doubt go down to the wire in the last 10 games?
Yeah, I think because we know exactly what we need to do on the pitch, and we know how we need to deliver the game plans. It takes that element of pressure and nervousness away, because it just feels like another training session for us, or another game where we're working on these things day in, day out, and constantly doing repetitions of these things. So when it comes to a Saturday, it doesn't feel too different to that. So again, it makes it very black and white and very easy to follow.
And speaking of making things black and white, with Wrexham now having played the same amount of games as Notts County, there have been, seems like for ages there's been these ifs and buts as what happens with Wrexham with these games in hand. Will they win them? What points will be on the board? But now it feels like there's a really clear picture for both teams ahead of a crucial final 10 games.
Yeah, definitely. I think it is nice to see everyone on the sort of same games up there now, and like I say, it makes things a little bit easier and doesn't keep people asking the same questions. Oh, what if this happens? What if that happens? Like, we now know that we have to go into game after game and just keep winning. And then as long as we do our job, then all we can do is hold our hands up at the end of the season and say, look, we've done our job in the 10 games. If they still go on to win the title, then so be it. But for us, it's about putting as much pressure on them as we can now and just keep winning games.
Sure. And Dorking up next. What will you need to do well to get a result against them at Meadow Lane?
Same as what we have been doing all season, really, playing our game plan and playing with that real high intensity, high work ethic with the quality that we've got. We know it's probably going to be another game, another tough one, where they maybe come here and they could either press us high really, really early and try and go for it, or they're going to sit in and play a deep block like we faced a lot this season. So it's about us just developing the tools on the pitch to unlock it, and hopefully coming out with a nice convincing win.